We're in a 2014 Honda CRV. We're going to do the plug-and-play drone mobile remote starter. It's a smartphone controlled remote starter, but it's a plug-and-play. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start with a disassembly. Going to tilt the wheel up, pull it out as far as it'll go, and we're going to pull on the dash and unclip it. Pulled it from the bottom. We're going to go ahead and we're going to use our plastic tool. I'm going to release the top plastic here. Be able to remove the dash the rest of the way. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to unplug the economy button. I'm going to unplug the traction control button and the tpms button, reset button. We're going to go ahead and we're going to remove the steering column plastic cover. One Phillips in the back. Okay, we're going to need the key to the vehicle. We're going to put the key in, turn the wheel to the 3 o'clock position. Little slot here, we're going to put our plastic tool in, and we're going to push up and remove the upper piece to the steering column plastic. We're going to do the wheel to the 9 o'clock position, and we're going to pop this side up. We're just going to lift the cover up here, and we're going to remove the 2 screws located in the face. There's one. And there is the other one. The Phillips screws. We're going to remove them. Okay, so we removed the screw at the 3 o'clock position. And we're removing the screw at the 9 o'clock position. Now we're going to set the wheel back to straight, shut the key off, and remove it from the ignition. You can now take the plastic cover off to give us access to the ignition plugs of the vehicle. We're going to be dealing with 2 plugs, the main ignition plug and the immobilizer plug. We're going to go ahead and we're going to press the clip on the immobilizer, and we're going to unplug it. Now we're going to pull this tab out on the main ignition plug to release the main ignition, but we have to push. There's a little clip on the inside right here. We're going to push that down while we pull out on the plastic piece. This will release the ignition plug. It's kind of tight in here until we get the plug out. I want to be careful not to pull on this plug or this plug while we're doing our installation. Now I'm going to locate our T-harness ends. We're going to plug into the appropriate ends. We're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in to the vehicle side, or the to the vehicle side, and now we're going to plug into the ignition side. I want to start with both of the clips out. And we are connected to the ignition. Now we have immobilizer plug connections also. Okay, we're going to plug the immobilizer plug in to the vehicle's immobilizer. To remove the driver's side kick panel, we're going to use our plastic tool to pop off the rocker trim. This will give us access to the lock and unlock wires. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pop the driver's kick panel off. We'll have access to the lock and unlock wires with the kick panel off. We're looking for the wires that come through the door boot right here up in the back. So you can see them right here. That's where we'll make our lock and unlock connections. Okay, we've located our lock and unlock wires. We're looking at these small dark green and gray. We've tested them with a test light to make sure that they're lock and unlock. When probing them with a negative, they will actuate. Okay, we're going to go ahead and strip these wires. You're going to use small gauge wire strippers and be careful not to cut them. Okay, now we're going to do strip and wrap connections. You know, if we don't do strip and wrap connections, T-taps would probably more than likely not work for this application. Okay, we're going to connect our blue with green to our green wire. We're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap it nice and tight around the spot that we stripped. Okay, all the mandatory connections are done. There's a couple optional connections that we can hit if we choose to, and I'll show you them. The parking lights, located up in this blue plug, hard to see. I'll move it back. There's a red wire up here that has a parking light activation wire, a positive. We'll locate that after. Then there's a horn wire up the clock timer. But I'm going to program the unit and get it operational. Okay, the first step of programming the Evo All is to remove all the plugs from the unit. Now there's a program button located at the top of the Evo. We're going to hold that down. We're going to plug in the 4-pin data plug. We're going to release when the light is red. If we miss it, it'll cycle back around, or we can go ahead and unplug the 4-pin and start over. Now we're going to plug in the 20-pin. We're not going to touch the button again. And we're going to plug the white or the can high, can low plug in. At this point, we're ready to begin programming. We're going to press the program button one time and release it. And then we're going to put the key in the ignition and turn the ignition to the run position. The red light is going to flash 10 times. The blue light is going to flash rapidly. The Evo All is now programmed. We can shut the key off and remove it from the ignition. Now we're going to program our remote by cycling the ignition 5 times, leaving it on the 5th time, and pressing a button on the remote, the lock button. So I'm going to go ahead and cycle the key 5 times within 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to press the lock button to introduce the drone remote to the system. I'll shut the key off and remove it, and I'm going to test locking and unlocking of the vehicle. We have lock and unlock and we're going to continue on to the next step. Okay, we have our horn wire, the clock timer. There's an orange wire coming out of a plug on the clock timer, white plug. If we hit this orange wire with a negative, it will honk the horn. Positive parking light, blue plug, red wire, and we can verify by putting our test light on and turning on the parking lights. Okay, we're outside of our CRV with our drone module. I'm going to basically show you what we've got here. We're seeing the temperature of the vehicle and the voltage. We're going to start the engine. We've sent the command to start the engine. There's the parking lights just blinked, and the vehicle should crank and start. The parking lights will come on, and the indicator will say we have 14 minutes 50 seconds of runtime. Now we can also control the vehicle with our remote here. You can lock the doors, the horn, unlock the doors, and we can start the vehicle. There's no hatch or trunk release on this vehicle, so we can't pop that.